Greetings, Precision Time users. This short presentation will cover the interface between the Precision Time PTS 900 base station and either the Nevco or Fairplay scoreboard controllers. Both of these systems are going to be similar in the fact that our primary function is going to be to start and stop the clock. Because neither Nevco or Fairplay has a data stream available to us to generate the game file via time stamping from the scoreboard. We'll also cover how to use the internal clock setting within our base station, which will give you the opportunity to generate a log file with very close approximate clock times. For interfacing with the Nevco scoreboard controller, you are in all likelihood going to need one of the Nevco interface boxes as shown on the right hand side of this screen. One side of the interface box has a 5-pin DIN connector which will be used to interface with the PTS base station via port 1. The other side has a 4-pin 4P4C connector which can be used then to plug into the available port on the Nevco controller. We're basically going to replace the hand switch that starts and stops the clock, and I could believe you can use that cable and unplug it from the hand switch and interface it with the Nevco interface box. For our Fairplay customers, the interface is completed using the hand switch port on the back of the MP70 controller, which is probably already being used to support either the shot clock controller exclusively, or if you have a Y connection already, can support both the shot clock controller as well as a external hand switch to operate the game clock. Use the enclosed Y cable and plug one end of the Y cable into port 2 on the back of the base station, and then the other end will still support the shot clock controller. Test all your connections and make sure that there is no interference when adding the Precision Time base station to the this setup. When initially interfacing the base station with your scoreboard controller, you may find that in fact the base station toggles the clock backwards. This is a very simple fix by going into clock configuration. And as I mentioned in the opening, we're going to choose internal clock as our setting, so we have an internal clock operating within the base station. But if the clock is running backwards, simply toggle SSRs 4 and 5 to on, and that should get the clock running in the correct direction. This function is password protected, so use the password all stars as shown, all lowercase and plural, to access the clock configuration menu within the settings. One of the new features of the PTS 900 system is the ability to generate a log file of each clock event in the game, so we can determine which official started or stopped the clock in any game situation. For most of our international customers, this will involve using the internal clock setting to basically run an internal clock within the base station to generate the game file. If your base station is set up for internal clock mode, you will find in the event screen a time value as shown. And you'll also find in the upper right hand corner where the control icons are located an edit clock icon, which will allow you to reset the clock and make changes as needed. So when we tap on the edit clock icon, it gets us into the control where we can set and adjust the internal clock value. You notice that we have icons titled Save as Default Time, which if you want to change the default time to the 10-minute period, which is the standard period length in international basketball, we select 10 minutes and then save as default time. And this is very useful because then anytime you start a new period, so for this example, we start the clock and run some time off, but then you notice if we go back into the edit clock mode, we can simply hit the reset to default time and it'll reset the clock back to the 10-minute values. Now if you're in the middle of the period and a situation comes up where the referees ask for a clock correction, the numbers then can be selected individually by scrolling the various digits. So in this example, if we needed to reset the clock to 8:06, we can select the value and then simply hit Save Changes, and that will change the internal clock setting to the 8:06 that we wanted. For any additional questions about the contents of this presentation, please use the contact information shown above. We thank you again for your support of Precision Time.